And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Tuesday. We are continuing on today with our NFL Draft Prospect of the Day. Nice little countdown. We are on day 60 of that 73. I think we messed up some days somewhere. We must have had our math wrong because we are on day 60 of our 73-day NFL countdown, and we are 16 days away from the draft. So we lost like 3 days somewhere during this 3-month process that we've been going on. So we'll have to try and make up some days and some prospects over these next kind of 2.5 weeks. But, we've got time. And, during those kind of week of draft shows, we'll go extra hard on draft coverage. So, but we're looking at Khalil Herbert, running back from Virginia Tech today. This is kind of if you had to rank kind of like the top 5 running back prospects in this draft, Travis Etienne and Najee Harris are clear number 1 and number 2. These UNC running backs, they're good, they're decent, but we really didn't see anything fantastic from them. They were solid runners, but when we watched Travis Etienne, we were like, gosh dang, y'all, he's going to be absolutely magnificent in this league. Same thing when we looked at Najee Harris, we were like, gosh darn, he's going to be absolutely magnificent in this league. These two, Javante Carter and something Williams, I'm blanking on their names, but those UNC quarterbacks, we've already watched them, and there's nothing really special about them. They're solid. They're good running backs. Don't get us wrong, but compared to Travis Etienne and Najee Harris, they really don't even compare to kind of what they can do on the field. So we're looking at Khalil Herbert today, and like I said, this is kind of, if you had to rank the top 5 best running backs in this league or in this draft, Khalil Herbert is in that top 5. You got Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, the 2 running backs from UNC, and then Khalil Herbert from Virginia Tech. So we'll see if Herbert is like those UNC running backs, really good, solid running backs in this league, or if they're going to be A1 tier 1 running backs when they get to the league year 1, already making an impact whichever team they go to, like Travis Etienne and Najee Harris will. So we'll look at him and just kind of see where he falls in. Great, fantastic, or just, real solid good. So we'll look at him today. Obviously still breaking down the NBA from last night, doing a moneymaker for tonight's action, and breaking down the stories, and there's some good ones to talk about. So here we go. Let's get right into it. And this one just broke about 20 minutes ago. The Cardinals are signing James Conner, running back, the Steelers running back. They got rid of him this season, let him go, and the Cardinals pick him up. We talked about this yesterday on the show that, he was there visiting, and they ended up signing him. So a little interesting right here. The Cardinals no longer have Kenyon Drake. That was kind of their feature back last season, and he rushed for about like 900 yards. So he has to is James Conner going to be able to make up that production for kind of the loss of Kenyon Drake for the Cardinals? And when we look at what James Conner has really done for his career, just a couple of seasons here in Pittsburgh, 4 seasons here with the Steelers, and his second year, 973 yards. So he's proven that he can kind of be that 1,000-yard premier first kind of A1 back for the Steelers. He did it in 2018 with the 973 yards with 12 touchdowns. That's what we're talking about, with 497 receiving yards on top of those 900 rushing yards. So, I mean, all in all, that's 1,400 yards of production from this man. That's exactly what we're talking about. And then just last season, a little bit of a lighter season, 720 yards receiving, 215 yards rushing for just under that kind of 1,000-yard mark of kind of what we want our running back on the field production to look like. We would like you to have at least 1,000 rushing yards alone, and then whatever you're doing catching the ball. But I mean, if you're passing 1,000 yards of total production, we'll take that absolutely. So they are going to have to see if James Conner can kind of get back to his 2018, his best year form out here, because we've seen these last 2 seasons taking a little bit of a step back here. 2019 for the Steelers, only 464 rushing yards, and then just last season, 721, like we said. So we'll see how he does. The Cardinals still have their kind of draft pick from 3 years ago, Chase Edmonds, and he's nothing too truly special out there. I mean, he only had 200 yards rushing last season. 448 yards rushing, 400 yards out of the backfield, just kind of complimenting Kenyon Drake. So we'll see if Chase Edmonds is going to get a little bit of a bigger role, or if they kind of use James Conner as, the second running back. So we'll see how it plays out. But a little interesting note here that it is only a 1-year deal here for James Conner with the Cardinals. So I would say the Cardinals would still have a good possibility of drafting a running back in this year's draft as well. So we'll see what happens. But a 1-year deal, they're just kind of saying, hey, let's see what you got, because, like we said, he is kind of coming off 2 not good years, so that kind of can explain the 1-year contract as well. So we'll see what the Cardinals do with the draft, if they kind of go out and get maybe another running back to maybe challenge Chase Edmonds for running back 2, or maybe even try to be the premier back for James Conner. But the Cardinals have some decent running back weapons. They just have to go and do what they can have proven to do before. So we'll see what happens. But we all know their offense is absolutely fantastic with, Kyler Murray and the receivers, and their defense is fantastic. It's really just their running back game, their running game, that's the biggest question mark right now. So we'll see if James Conner can return back to his old form and start having some nice 1,400-yard production years. Alrighty, and then the big story that broke. This broke yesterday. That's what I thought. Longtime Patriots wide receiver Julian Edelman announces his retirement. Originally, he was cut. The Patriots did let him go. So there was about an hour and a half, 2-hour period where, like, oh my goodness, he can go team up with Tom Brady and get another ring. And there was a lot of speculation going on, but he kind of nipped that in the bud about 2 hours later after the Patriots released him, saying, you know what, I'm going to hang it up. So, I mean, a wonderful career here for Julian Edelman, multiple Super Bowl winner. He's the second most catches in the playoffs and yards, 118 catches in the playoffs, 1,442 yards in the playoffs. That's second most. So absolutely great there. He's played in 3 Super Bowls. He's been on a team with 4 Super Bowls. He didn't play in that first one, I believe, in what was it? We'll get there in a second. But he's played in every Super Bowl that he's actually played in, he's won. So absolutely clutch as clutch goes. And that just goes that now all that's left to really decide about Julian Edelman is, does he belong in the Hall of Fame? And there's a lot of discussion going around. So let's kind of investigate it a little bit deeper, and let's then make our final verdict. So here we go. The one thing that Julian Edelman really does have is his playoff runs and just his clutch ability in the Super Bowls and in the playoffs. But before we look at some of his kind of game tape in those big playoff games, let's just quickly go over his career broadly, very quickly. So he's got about, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 real good seasons of not being injured, being the primary starter on that team. And he's broken 1,000 yards 3 times. I mean, 1,100 yards in 2019, 1,100 yards in 2016, and 1,000 yards in 2013. And that's what we want our receivers to have, 1,000-yard seasons. But he's also got, the 972, the 697, 850, 315 yards just last season, but he only played 6 games last season, and he had Cam Newton with the quarterback, not the greatest, and he had to be kind of a premier wide receiver. He was probably their best weapon out there, and that's kind of why we see the lack of production when he had to go out and be kind of the main receiver for the entire season. It didn't really work out too well for him. If you can kind of just be, a little bit of a gadget, not too much of a gadget guy out there, but a trickery, just kind of putting him in the slot here and there, moving him all around, letting him do a lot of things, passing the ball. We've seen him pass the ball numerous times, punt return, kick return, running out of the backfield, all of that. So that's where he gets kind of some of his production from, of just kind of being a specialty guy out there as well. But all in all, he ends his career with 6,822 yards and 36 touchdowns. And also, when we kind of look at his catch percentages, that's something that we've been focusing a lot last season of how well or just kind of how off are they good at catching? That's basically what they're saying. How many targets do you have compared to your receptions? What is that number looking like? And he's solid here at about like 65 to 69. That's where he basically hovers for his entire career, but we never see like 70 plus catch percentage, and that's real good in this league. And we see, these big old wide receivers, Deandre Hopkins do it, Larry Fitzgerald do it. We see these big name A1 tier wide receivers have 70 plus catch percentage, so there's no reason why Julian Edelman shouldn't have that as well, and he never really had it. The best season he had was 69.5, 69.3, 68.5, and that's real good, real close to 70, but it's not 70, so maybe a little bit of a knock toward his Hall of Fame kind of resume, if you will. So that's his base stats right there. 6,822 yards, 36 touchdowns. Now, before we kind of compare that to everybody else in the Hall of Fame, let's see what his kind of big contribution to football was. And that was just being absolutely magnificent and big and clutch in the playoff and Super Bowl game. So we got a little bit of a minute highlight clip putting together his best performances here in the big playoff postseason games. So let's check this out real quick and see what we get. So here we go. The first game up here, the Patriots against the Seahawks. Patriots down 3 with 2 minutes left in the game. They're down 24-21. They're at the 3-yard line. And who does Brady go to? Julian Edelman, the go-ahead score against the Seahawks that would prove to be the game-winning touchdown. Yes, sir. So absolutely clutch. Now here we go in the AFC Championship game against the Steelers, just kind of getting a nice huge pickup here. Right, first drive of the game, starting off big, just got them down to the Steelers 25-yard line, looking to, put the pressure on the Steelers from drive 1. That's what he does out here. And then here we go against the Ravens in the playoffs, down 7 in the third quarter. Julian Edelman throws the ball to a wide open wide receiver. Is that Danny Amendola? And then he goes in for the kind of tie score against the Ravens in the playoffs. So once again, absolutely clutch and kind of doing it a little bit of a kind of gadget way, being the passer in that scenario. Then here we go against the Colts here in the playoffs. Just a catch over the middle. They're up 7, but just piling on the score. That's why, Philip Rivers could never get out of the AFC and get to the Super Bowl, because Tom Brady and Julian Edelman were there to always shut him down. All right, here we go. In the playoffs against the Texans, they're only up 1. Tom Brady goes deep to Julian Edelman, and he catches it and breaks it down to about the 20-yard line. Once again, getting in position to put up points in a playoff postseason game. That's what we're talking about. Clutch, always dependable, always reliable. What else do we get here in the Super Bowl against the Seahawks? Right over the middle. They're down 10 at this point in the fourth quarter. And once again, just moving them past midfield, getting them into prime position to put up some points. That's all you can ask for your wide receivers. Obviously, to score as well, but to get us in that position to score, just as good as well. Here we go on that same drive. They're going back to Julian Edelman here in the red zone, trying to split the defenders, getting the ball down to the 3-yard line so they can go and put up points. And then probably his most important contribution of all against the Falcons on that big old comeback. The Patriots are down 28-20 with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. First down, Tom Brady throws it over the middle. It gets tipped up by the defense, and Julian Edelman dives with 3 other Falcons players and somehow miraculously catches this ball without it being intercepted, without it touching the ground. And this really just gives them so much momentum, gives the Patriots so much momentum to go and actually win the game when they were down 28-3 against the Falcons. We all know the history. We know the memes. That was set up large part of Julian Edelman catching this absolutely insane pass. And, yes, it's a catch. And yes, where did this one end up at? the 40-yard line. So, on the Falcons 40-yard line. So they still have a ways to go on this drive, but this gave them so much momentum, so much energy, and it took away the energy of Atlanta. This close of getting an interception and really sealing the game, this close of being incomplete, and now it's 2nd and 10, putting more pressure on the Patriots and Brady. But Julian Edelman says, no, y'all not putting the pressure on me. I'm putting the pressure on y'all. Y'all have activated my trap card, throws down the reverse Uno card, and now it allows Tom Brady to have the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. So that's what Julian Edelman does, folks. He gets it done. He's an absolute winner. He's an absolute dependable clutch player. Exactly what you want in the big game, winning the big game kind of single-handedly. We just saw, the play down here against the Seahawks, right on the goal line, go ahead, score. Yes, sir. So he was just absolutely outrageous in the playoffs, and that was basically his biggest ticket. That's got to be the first thing he puts on the resume. I'm clutch in the big games, and what more would you want, man? That's why you play the game, to be clutch, to get it done, to win the ring. He doesn't have the longevity stats, kind of like what Phillip Rivers has done, and if everybody kind of out crying for him to be in the Hall of Fame as well, but he's never won an AFC Championship game like Julian Edelman has, and he's never been to the Super Bowl like Julian Edelman has, and he's never won the Super Bowl like Julian Edelman has. He's always floundered in the big game. Julian Edelman does not flounder in the big games. Alrighty, let's kind of, stay along of this narrative of him just being absolutely great in the kind of playoff games, and let's take a look at kind of all the Super Bowls that he has been in. So here we go, and let's kind of break down the stats. How did he compare to everybody else that was in the game? Was he the best wide receiver in all those Super Bowls? Because that would kind of elevate his Hall of Fame kind of resume a little bit more. So let's dive a little bit deeper into this really quickly. As we see, he did officially get to 4 Super Bowls, but the one in 2011, he was injured in and never stepped foot on the field. Then the next 3 Super Bowls, all other Super Bowls that he actually played in, he won. That's huge, folks. 3-0 in the Super Bowl when he played. Gosh darn, man, that's fantastic. So let's see what he did here. 2014 against Seattle here. 9 receptions for 109 yards and a touchdown. So let's see what we get here. How did he stack up against everybody else here? All right, let's start here with the Patriots. Julian Edelman, as we said, had 109 yards receiving. The second highest Patriot wide receiver that had yards receiving was Rob Gronkowski with 68 yards. So yes, Julian Edelman was the best wide receiver on his team in this Super Bowl against the Seahawks. Now, how did he kind of compare overall in the game? The highest wide receiver for the Seahawks was Chris Matthews, also with 109 yards. So overall, he was kind of, the best wide receiver out there. And once again, a very, very close game here. The Patriots winning it by 4 points, 28-24, single-handedly because of Julian Edelman right there. So we would have to kind of say that he was the best overall player in this Super Bowl. And did he win Super Bowl MVP here? Because he does have a Super Bowl MVP. And I think it has to be for this game. Go ahead, game-winning score, the best wide receiver in the entire game. Do they show us that here? They give us that here? Game info. Oh, no. Tom Brady won MVP on that one? I disagree. Did he win it for Atlanta? But let's go to that game because that's the next game up. So here we go. His next Super Bowl against Atlanta. He had 5 receptions for 87 yards, no touchdowns. But let's see how he kind of stacked up in this Super Bowl receiving-wise. He didn't win the MVP here either? I thought he had a Super Bowl MVP. Tom Brady won this one as well. All right, here we go. Julian Edelman, 87 receiving yards. James White had 110 receiving yards? Oh, my God. That's a running back. Woo, that man stepped it up big time in that game. Wow, 110 receiving yards for James White. But Julian Edelman was the second leading wide receiver for the squad of wide receivers. He was the best wide receiver on the squad with 87 yards. Unfortunately, no touchdown, but once again, that big catch at the 40-yard line that we just saw. And when we compare it to what the Falcons did, what did they have for receivers? Julio Jones only put up 87 receiving yards, same amount as Julian Edelman. So once again, kind of overall, in totality of kind of everything that happened in this game, we would probably have to declare Julian Edelman the best wide receiver, not James White. You know, he's a running back. I'll give him the 110 yards, absolutely monster game. I'll give it to him. But when we're talking about just wide receivers in this game, we have to give it up that Julian Edelman was the best one in this game. He beat out Julio Jones. Julio Jones didn't have a big catch, a big time catch that really kind of won him the game because they lost the game. He didn't have that catch. So Julian Edelman, more stock in his kind of Hall of Fame resume. And let's go to his last Super Bowl here against the Rams. Here we go. 10 catches for 141 yards. No touchdowns, but nobody was scoring touchdowns in this game. There was like one touchdown scored this game. It was 13-3, the final score. So he had 10 catches for 141 yards. Let's see how it compared to everybody else here. Alrighty, here we go. On his own team, we got Julian Edelman, 141 yards receiving. And then who's number 2? Rob Gronkowski, obviously, reliable here, with 87 yards receiving. And once again, he's a tight end, so if you want to just kind of move it at true receivers, Cordell Patterson put up 14 yards receiving. All right, and James White in this one only putting up 5 yards receiving. So where's James White at? Come on, get it up again. So once again, consistently great in the playoffs in Super Bowl games, folks. Come on, that's got to weigh heavy. It's got to truly weigh heavy on that resume. And let's compare it to the Rams before we exit this. The best Rams wide receiver was Brandon Cooks with 120 yards receiving, no touchdown. So once again, Julian Edelman, the best receiver in the Super Bowl, and they win the game because of him. Now, did he win the Super Bowl MVP for this game? He did. Alrighty, so it was with the Rams. That's where he got his Super Bowl MVP from. Finally, not Tom Brady, because Tom Brady had no passing touchdowns and 1 interception, so not good there. Who had the touchdown? Who had the lone touchdown? Sony Michel. Yes, sir. Get it done. 94 rushing yards with the touchdown. So, I mean, Julian Edelman, he's been clutch, folks. He's been the best wide receiver in every single Super Bowl that he has been in, and he's kind of made the big play that helped Tom Brady kind of overcome a big deficit, or just kind of single-handedly win him the game like he did with Seattle. Obviously, we have to give credit to Malcolm Butler as well for getting the pick in the end zone. I get it. But he had the go-ahead score, folks. So now the only thing else left to do is compare Julian Edelman to kind of everything else around the league in the Hall of Fame. And that's where it kind of gets broken down a little bit. Yes, he's been great. But overall, totality stats-wise, it's nothing truly too impressive here. When we look at the wide receivers that are currently in the Hall of Fame, you know, the best one, this is just what, you know, Pro Football Reference kind of says is the best one here. We're not here to argue. We're just here to kind of just, you know, see where, you know, in the grand scheme of things, where Julian Edelman would fit in the Hall of Fame if he did get here. So they rank Jerry Rice the best Hall of Famer out here, wide receiver wise. 22,000 yards, 197 touchdowns. I mean, that's the big disparity that's kind of really hurting Julian Edelman's Hall of Fame resume, is the lack of yards and the very lack of touchdowns here. I mean, when we're looking at just touchdowns, we got Randy Moss, 156, Marvin Harrison, 128, 14,000 yards. Randy Moss, 15,000 yards. Larry Fitzgerald, he's not in the Hall of Fame yet because he's still playing, but Pro Football Reference still has him kind of ranked. If he gets, when he gets into the Hall of Fame, he's going to probably be the 4th best wide receiver Hall of Fame that there was in this league. And Larry Fitzgerald has 17,000 yards, 121 touchdowns. Terrell Owens, 15,000 yards, 153 touchdowns. Steve Largent, 13,000 yards, 100 touchdowns. James Lofton, 14,000 yards, 75 touchdowns. Chris Carter, 13,000 yards, 130 touchdowns. So we can kind of see where Julian Edelman falls off resume-wise. Now, let's just kind of go down to who Pro Reference says is the worst, kind of the lowest bar here, wide receiver-wise, to get into the Hall of Fame. And they say that is Tommy McDonald. And he had 8,000 yards, 84 touchdowns, so a hell of a lot more touchdowns, basically doubling his touchdowns and still getting 2,000 more yards. Now, Tommy McDonald only had 1 championship, but he also had 6 Pro Bowls. Julian Edelman has 0 Pro Bowl appearances, another big knock on his Hall of Fame resume. And look at this. Oh, my God. They've already got Tyreek Hill ranked right under Tommy McDonald here. So Tyreek Hill's already got 5,000 yards, 47 touchdowns already. Tyreek Hill already outpacing Julian Edelman right here. And he's only in the league, what, 5-6 seasons? What has he got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons, and Tyreek Hill is already a little bit better than Julian Edelman kind of stat-wise in the Hall of Fame categories. And Tyreek Hill's got a championship. And a Pro Bowl, 5 Pro Bowls. Ever since he stepped foot in this league, a Pro Bowl. Julian Edelman. So it's tough to give him into kind of this Hall of Fame status. One I kind of like to compare it to, can I find it here? I would kind of compare Julian Edelman a little bit to, let me see if I can find him on this list. Deandre Hopkins right now in this league already has 10,000 receiving yards, 60 touchdowns. He's a surefire Hall of Famer here. If he can get a ring, absolutely, definitely would solidify it. AJ Green's got 9,000 yards, 65 touchdowns. So, we're just kind of looking at comparisons between good wide receivers in this league, great wide receivers that, have played the game or are currently playing the game, and just kind of comparing it to what Julian Edelman did. His stats, his lackluster stats is definitely hurting him. But like we said, his clutch ability, we really haven't seen that too much. Let's just kind of quickly go back up top here to what these big Hall of Famers of the wide receivers did in their championship games. Jerry Rice had 3 championships. Randy Moss, 0. He never won a ring. Marvin Harrison only won 1 ring. Larry Fitzgerald, we all know, has never won a ring. We're hoping that changes this year. They've got the pieces around it, so potentially he's got one at the end of his career. Terrell Owens, no Super Bowls. Chris Carter, no Super Bowls. So it is still possible for him to get in because he's got 3 great Super Bowl appearances, 3 great playoff runs that he really dominated in and really helped them win. So let's keep going here. Where is he? Did I pass him already? I wanted to talk about one guy, Jordy Nelson. That's who we wanted to kind of compare him to a little bit, of kind of just real good for, his quarterback, Aaron Rodgers for the Packers. Here he is, Jordy Nelson. Here we go. Jordy Nelson, he's got the Super Bowl, 8,000 yards, 72 touchdowns, but he's not in the Hall of Fame, and I don't think we would put kind of Jordy Nelson in the Hall of Fame either. Jordy Nelson, multiple 1,000-yard receiving seasons, 12,000 yards, 1,300 yards, 1,500 yards, 1,200 yards, multiple touchdowns. Like we said, ended his career with 8,000 yards and 72 touchdowns. But are we putting Jordy Nelson in the Hall of Fame, even though that he was real good and real serviceable with Aaron Rodgers and always coming up clutch for this team? Are we going to put him in the Hall of Fame? I don't think so. I don't think we can. But like we said, the one thing that Julian Edelman has is just the absolute clutch ability, dependability, and that's his biggest factor. All right, 2 last things before we make our official ruling here, on if Julian Edelman is a Hall of Famer here. So let's read Bill Belichick's statement on, quote, the ultimate competitor of Julian Edelman. This is what Bill Belichick says about this man, quote, by any measures of what constitutes an elite NFL career, wins, championships, production, Julian has it all. And Bill Belichick agrees with what we just said. His clutch ability in those freaking wins. He's a winner, folks. He's a true winner out here. Every time he stepped foot on that Super Bowl field, he won the game. He won. All right, said Patriots head coach Bill Belichick, quote, few players can match Julian's achievements, and we just kind of proved that. We looked at kind of the top 5 wide receivers in the Hall of Fame right now, and number 1 has 3 championships like Julian Edelman does. So, and nobody else is really that close. All right, few players can match Julian's achievements, period. But considering his professional trajectory and longevity, the group is even more select. Exactly. He's not one of these players that's been along for, 15 plus years, that has just, been kind of the true number 1 wide receiver on a team. So he's getting all those targets. So he's getting all those deep field shots to increase his yardage. All right, but considering his professional trajectory and longevity, the group is even more select. It is historic. I would say so as well. This is a tribute to his legendary competitiveness. Oh, I love that. Mental and physical toughness and will to excel. Oh my God, Bill Belichick is hammering this exactly on the freaking head here. Love it. Day in and day out, Julian was always the same, all out. Then in the biggest games and moments with championships at stake, he reached an even greater heights and delivered some of his best, most thrilling performances. For all Julian did for our team, what I may appreciate the most is he was the quintessential throwback player. He could and did do everything: catch, run, throw, block, return, cover, tackle, all with an edge and an attitude that would not allow him to fail any under circumstances. Julian Edelman is the ultimate competitor, and it was a privilege to coach him. I just got chills reading this statement, folks, and honestly, I was ready to say that Julian Edelman was not a Hall of Famer, but hearing his words of Bill Belichick and how he just phrased everything that we've been saying for the last 20 minutes and putting it absolutely perfectly, he is the ultimate competitor. He is the ultimate winner. He is the ultimate kind of Swiss Army knife. The man was throwing, running, returning, everything, catching, blocking, an absolutely magnificent freaking career here that was capped off of just being a true freaking winner. Gosh darn, man. Now I'm undecided right now. The last thing I kind of want to say before we make the ultimate decision here, if he gets into the Hall of Fame, is this is the ultimate disrespect right here, and this man brought it up absolutely fantastically. So shout out not Adam at all on Twitter. He says Terrell Owens didn't get in the Hall of Fame till his third year of eligibility. And y'all telling me Julian Edelman should be in the Hall of Fame? Crying emojis. I mean, that is a fact right there. The fact that Terrell Owens did not get in his first year is a little blasphemous and truly disrespectful and truly outrageous. And you all should be outraged on that fact. So, now, does Julian Edelman deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? I was ready to say no. I truly was. But then going back and just looking of how freaking great this man was, how clutch, in these words of Bill Belichick, they have to hold so much weight, folks. We have to give Bill Belichick so much credit of what he's been able to do sustainability-wise. So he knows what it takes to kind of win on the field and knows what true great production is and knows what true winning caliber football is and knows what sacrifices need to be made. And the fact that Bill Belichick is praising Julian Edelman so much, in the fact that Julian Edelman is 3-0 in the Super Bowl, in the fact that he was the reason that they won most of those Super Bowls, in the fact that he was the best kind of wide receiver out on that field in all 3 Super Bowls that he won. I think we got to give it up for him. I'm putting Julian Edelman in the Hall of Fame, not just because of his base numbers, because we've proven that's nothing truly that great, but just like Bill Belichick said, that in the biggest games and moments with championships at stake, he reached an even greater height. What are we talking about, folks? Y'all want to put Phillip Rivers in the Hall of Fame, and the man has never even beat an AFC championship game. Yes, he's got longevity stats. That's what Julian Edelman doesn't have. But Julian Edelman, in the biggest games of his career, in the biggest moments, down big, down bad, down 28-3 against the Falcons, down 24-20 against the Seahawks. And he goes and gets the big catch. He gets the score on the goal line. I'm giving it to him, baby. Julian Edelman, welcome to the Hall of Fame, baby. Yes, sir. Woo! Woo! Yes! Damn! Woo! I'm hype on this man. A winner, a champion, a true freaking competitor out here. We got to give it up for him. That's all that's football's about, winning. Can you win? This man says, yes, I gosh darn can, and I'll prove it to you every single mother-loving game. I'm giving it to him. Julian Edelman, Hall of Fame. Yes, sir. We're done. No more discussion. No more arguments. The discussion is done, folks. The debate is over. He is a Hall of Famer. First ballot, surefire. Give it to the man. Give it to the man. Woo, man. Truly hyped up. Oof. I did not read that Bill Belichick quote before this show, and I'm absolutely glad I did because I literally was getting goosebumps, folks. Wow. What a champion. A true champion. A champion. A champion. You're going to leave a champion out of the Hall of Fame? Come on. Come on. Come on. Get him in there. 3 rings. 3. All because of him. What other Hall of Fame wide receiver has 3 rings like he does? Just Jerry Rice. Randy Moss, only 0. Marvin Harrison, 1. Terrell Owens, 0. Steve Largent, 0. James Lofton, 0. Lance Allworth, 2. Who is this man? Lance Allworth played in the freaking 60s. He's got 2. Let's keep going. Chris Carter, none. Chris Carter, none. Chris Carter, none. Tim Brown, none. Paul Walford, 3. When did he play? The 50s? The 60s again? 3 in the 60s? He's doing this in the 2020s, the 20-teens, the 2010s. That's when he's getting it done. Isaac Bruce, 1. Charles Taylor, 0. Michael Irvin, 3. All right, we got to respect Michael Irvin a little bit. I'll give him that one. All righty. Here we go. Let's keep going here. Don Marvin, 1. Art Monk, 3. When did this man play? The 80s. The 80s. The early 80s. The 80s. He's got 3. What else do we get? Charlie Joyner, 0. Raymond Barry, 2. When did he play? The 50s! The 50s! That man's got 2. Drew Pearson, 1. Calvin Johnson's got none, and he's been great. Andre Reed's none, and he's been great. Come on, the winner. Yes, everybody's got these great stats in the Hall of Fame for wide receivers, but they don't have the rings. They never stepped it up in the biggest games. This man was winning single-handedly. Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer Julian Edelman, congratulations. You can come pick up the jacket at the Takes by Fans studio. Just reach out to me. We'll give you the address out here. I love it. I love it. I'm giving it to him. Hall of Fame. Yes, sir. Alrighty, we may have to take a little bit of a break, but let's move off that topic. I'm fired up, folks, but we got more show to do, folks. That was the second story we covered, and we're already 36 minutes into the show here. Damn. Alrighty, let's continue on here. Let's go to some non-energetic stories so we can kind of calm down a little bit, because I'm about to freaking run through my walls. I'm about to run through all these freaking walls around me. All right. Here we go. Deep breath. All right. Here we go. Jadeveon Clowney, Hall of Famer. Get him in there already. I'm ready to put everybody in the Hall of Famer. Damn. Alrighty, Jadeveon Clowney, he's going to revisit the Browns for the second time on Wednesday, and I think we all have to kind of get used to the fact that this is going to happen. I think Jadeveon Clowney is going to sign with the Browns come tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. The Browns ended up offering him a 3-year, $57 million deal last year before he signed that 1-year, $12 million deal with the Titans. We all know they didn't truly work out that well for the Titans. They were still, a little lackluster defensively, and still, Ryan Tannehill did a little worse. They didn't get to the AFC Championship game. They got to the first round exit, I believe. But just expect this to get done. Meeting with the team again. They were this close of signing him before. No other team has really kind of expressed too much interest in this man. So just expect tomorrow morning when you check your phone, when you check Twitter, when you watch whatever sports show you watch. Hopefully it's this one and only this one. Jadeveon Clowney will be a Brown tomorrow. So that's fantastic. I mean, the team is ready to win now. They're getting better every single season. We love what Kevin Stefanski did year 1 for the squad. We loved his development with Johnny Manziel. Could you imagine? Baker Mayfield loved it, and we're gonna get OBJ back healthy for an entire season. So that's what we're talking about. The defense is already pretty good. Jadeveon Clowney getting added to the line of Myles Garrett. What more does this team need to win now? Let's see what they can do. And they also challenged the Chiefs and only lost by 1 possession in the playoffs. Fantastic. So tomorrow, Jadeveon Clowney becomes a Brown, and the league is forever changed. So expect that tomorrow on the show. Alrighty, let's move on. Here we go. Matt Rule. Panthers plan to let Teddy Bridgewater situation, quote, play out and see where it stands. We know that Matt Rule has kind of said, hey, Teddy B, go, you can leave. You can facilitate your own trade if you want. You don't need to be here. You're not going to be the starter. I mean, we made that perfectly clear by giving away 3 draft picks for a quarterback right now. So, yeah, thanks for last season. Thanks for, transitioning me into the NFL. But I can take it over from here, Teddy. Go and try and, get somewhere else because you're not going to be playing here. So, This is what Matt Rule says, quote, Teddy's still a member of this team. Rule said, quote, it's been documented that our organization gave his representation to talk with some other people, so I think we're just gonna have to let it play out and see where it stands. I think you guys all know how I feel about Teddy as a professional, as a person. I believe he can win games as a quarterback in this league. Oh, you do? Then why are you moving off of him? You think Sam Darnold has never proven that he can win games in this league. Teddy Bridgewater has. So this quote, I lost a little respect of Matt Rule. I know this is what he has to say, but I mean, coming in his second season of being a head coach in this league, getting rid of Teddy Bridgewater when he didn't even have a good running game and he had 2 1,000-yard wide receivers on his team. Come on. And you're just throwing him to the curb for Sammy D? Come on. So Matt Rule obviously doesn't want Teddy Bridgewater to be here anymore. He doesn't want him to be his quarterback. We kind of heard some quotes at the end of the season of Matt Rule kind of, hinting we didn't want to really believe in him, so we kind of, said that we really didn't want to believe in those quotes, but Matt Rule was kind of saying, you know what, Teddy Bridgewater does have to step up next season, and this season's still a little bit of a disappointment performance-wise by him. So he was always out there kind of hinting that he was not really interested in bringing Teddy Bridgewater back. Truly unfortunate for him. I think he had a real good season this season. It wasn't great, it wasn't clutch, it wasn't Julian Edelman, but it was a little serviceable for a first-year quarterback with a new team and a first-year head coach in the league newly, and not having your face of the franchise there. So I really think everything was a little stacked against Teddy Bridgewater this season, but he still really kind of made it work decently. Like we said, he just wasn't clutch, but I don't think that's punishable of not getting another year. So Tom Brady's got everybody acting crazy out here. Tom Brady's like, hang on, I can go anywhere I want to win easily. Y'all are having struggles here. Y'all are having like 2-3 seasons to kind of get acclimated and then make the playoff run. What is that? I'm winning year one, new team, no problem. So what are y'all doing? So Tom Brady's got everybody acting reckless out here, just trading everybody, getting new pieces constantly. So Teddy Bridgewater, I hope he's a starter next season. It's not looking great, but if the Bears, Matt Nagy needs to swallow that pride a little bit, admit that you missed on Andy Dalton and go and sign this man right now. So we'll see where Teddy Bridgewater ends up going. He's free to leave. They're free to let him go. Just a team has to, pick him up. So we'll see what happens with this man. Alrighty, folks. Woo, a big one here. Finally, Britt Reed, Andy Reid's son, has been charged with felony driving while intoxicated for his involvement in a car crash earlier this year that left a 5-year-old girl critically injured. The freaking couple days before the Super Bowl, drinking and driving. If convicted, Reed would face a maximum sentence of 7 years in prison. Yikes. Imagine being in the NFL, winning championships, about to win your second, and you almost kill a child because you drove drunk. Yikes. Unfortunately, I think you got to throw the book at the man, unfortunately. I think you got to give him the 7 years. Nobody's above this law, folks. Nobody's above the law. Even if you are coaching in this league, even if you are the son of a head coach that won the Super Bowl, that, is going to build a dynasty. They were building a dynasty. Not only did this man almost kill somebody, kill a child, he also ruined a dynasty of that Chiefs. Did you see the Chiefs play in that Super Bowl? It was nothing like anything I saw that Chiefs team do their entire 2 seasons of being absolutely magnificent. Even 3. We'll go back a year of that AFC Championship game where they lost against the Patriots. But, I mean, you ruined that dynasty. You had Andy Reid. Like, what the hell? You distracted the entire organization. I can't say that's worse than almost killing a child, but it's close. I'm going to say it's close. It's close up there because she survived, so we can kind of say that a little bit. But, I mean, man, oh, man, ruining a dynasty, ruining your father's legacy. Your father's only goal was to get a good quarterback and win Super Bowls. He almost had a good quarterback in Donovan Mitchell, but he wasn't Julian Edelman out there and never got it done in the NFC Championship games or the Super Bowls. Andy Reid finally has a gamer like Julian Edelman in Patrick Mahomes, and they almost went back-to-back with the Super Bowl championships. But this man wants to start killing children. That's his new line of work. I'm murdering children out here. All right, so let's quickly go over this article, see if there's anything good in this one. So here we go. Former Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, they fired that man? I guess so. I mean, I guess he would have to, right? So former Kansas City Chiefs assistant. I didn't think he got fired. All right, interesting. Here we go. Former Kansas City Chiefs assistant coach Britt Reed has been charged with felony driving while intoxicated for his involvement in a car crash earlier this year that left 5-year-old girl critically injured. The Jackson County, Missouri prosecutor's office filed the Class D felony charge Monday. Damn. Stating that Reed, quote, operated a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol and acted with criminal negligence by driving at an excessive rate of speed. Oof, they got you on drunk driving and you were whipping that thing around. If convicted, Reed would face a maximum sentence of 7 years in prison. Reed, the son of Chiefs coach Andy Reid, surrendered to Kansas City police Monday afternoon already, so he's already kind of in the custody. Well, then he's already released because he posted the bail of $100,000. $100,000 bond, of course. I mean, Andy Reid's throwing that money around. Andy Reid's like, yo, Patty Mahomes, I need some of that money down here. Patrick Mahomes, you just got $500 million. I need $100,000 of that. I got to get my son out of prison. All right. Reed was ordered to not consume alcohol or visit any establishment where alcohol is the primary item sold. He also must report to a dependency service clinic for pre-trial supervision, is subject to random drug testing, and must use alcohol in GPS monitoring devices. Alrighty. So yes, he's out on bond, but he still cannot be around the alcohol. Alrighty, here we go. Let's just kind of see the total impact of the crash if we are not all up to speed. So, analysis of the crash indicated that Reed was driving 83.9 miles per hour, basically 84, just 1.9 seconds before his Dodge Ram collided with two parked vehicles on the ramp. The man ran into some parked cars going 84 miles an hour? Wow. I did not know that. A Chevy Impala and a Chevy Traverse. Man, the Chevy's got to get a little bit better. they got to go back in the lab and be like, all right, we were fine with the 85 miles an hour. Everybody was good. But now people want to start going 80 miles an hour, now 84. I think I missed it, but so we'll move on. I think I ruined the joke there. Okay. According to a probable cause statement form filed Monday, the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office, one of the vehicles had stalled because its battery was dead, and the second was owned by a cousin who had arrived to help. Man, could you imagine, getting a call that, your cousin is stranded on a ramp going onto a highway, I'm assuming, and, asking you, hey, can you get over here? And you get there and you're doing your thing, and somebody drunk driving 83.9 miles an hour crashes in the back of you? Absolutely crazy out here. So Andy Reid truly deserved to be charged with felony DUI, truly deserves to get charged if all those kind of, facts and statements of everything that we just read is correct. It's not going to be good for this man. So truly not unfortunate because, he did it. He did drive drunk himself, but just truly unfortunate of all the circumstances that did occur. So we'll see what happens, but I would expect that man to get that guilty verdict. I would say he's guilty. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. The Bucks, some good news. I actually like this news. Here we go. The Bucks are signing former Bengals running back Giovanni Bernard to a 1-year deal. I love it. Giovanni Bernard, always kind of a solid running back here for the Bengals. He paid his time. He was there with Andy Dalton and Marvin. What's that coach's name? Marvin. Is it Marvin Harrison? Am I bugging? I don't think it's Marvin Harrison. What's this man's name? Marvin Lewis. That's right. Okay. Marvin Lewis. So he paid his time. He did his dues that season. That team it underachieved every single year, and we all knew it was coming every single year in, year out. Like, the narratives would be like, oh, is this a year Andy Dalton and Marvin Jones finally gets it done? No, of course not. What are y'all, crazy? No, they can't get it done. So that was, Giovanni Bernard back there in the backfield. Always kind of solid, 600 yards receiving, but then he brings some great, rushing, 600 yards rushing, but then he also brings the good receiving yards as well. 500 receiving yards, 472, 300, and, in his early days with the Bengals, he was having, 1,200 yards total between the rushing and the catching. So not bad overall of really kind of never being a premier running back in this league, not kind of ever being that A1 tier 1 running back. So, he paid his dues there with the Bengals. He was with the Bengals last season, 124 rushes for 416 yards, just a 3-yard average, average. It's truly average. Last year it was average. He also piled on 355 yards receiving, and that's a little bit of what the Bucs struggled with in the regular season, not so much in the postseason, but in that regular season this year of kind of their running backs not really catching the ball out of the backfield too well. Ronald Jones doesn't really do it. Leonard Fournette was dropping all the balls that Tom Brady was throwing to him in the regular season. Postseason, he kind of stepped it up a little bit, but Giovanni Bernard here, getting that depth of the Bucs a little bit deeper. Nice kind of catching running back out of the backfield. Very good, very serviceable. And hey, he's like, y'all giving out rings out here? I want a ring as well for my dues, my time paid in this league. So love that he's getting a 1-year deal here with the Bucs. Hopefully he gets a ring, so that, once again, why we are, Bucs fan this year is we want to see Giovanni Bernard get that ring. He deserves one. I'll give him one. So 1-year deal for Giovanni Bernard. Let's run it back. We all know they basically have re-signed all of their players already to kind of go back to back here. So we'll see how Giovanni Bernard helps. I don't think he'll hurt the team, but if he does, we'll track it. So Giovanni Bernard on the Bucs. Love it. Alrighty, last year we kind of said goodbye to the 16-game era, talking about the best win percentages in the league, with the Patriots and the Steelers having the best win percentage in that 40-year era of the 16-game schedule in the NFL. But let's talk about, the worst win percentage in the 16-game era. Which teams can just finally all right, we're moving into a new phase in the NFL. This is kind of, our new future. What we've done these last 40 years, kind of our past. Let's be the Patriots of last era. Let's be the Steelers of last era. So these are the teams that are looking for a lot of improvement. The Lions had the worst win percentage in the league with 39.6 win percentage out there. We know they were one of the undefeated team, or one of the defeated teams here in this 16-game season, this 16-game era, going 0-16. We'll see if they cannot go 0-17, because just leave it, move on. This is a new beginning. This 2021 season is the chance of new beginning. So Lions with the 39.6% win percentage. They still have a lot of work to do, because they just got rid of their franchise guy, their franchise quarterback, and they just have a new head coach. That's not going to work out, we all know. But the Browns, the second worst win percentage, and they're trending up. So this is the Browns' chance to be relevant in this new era. The Bucs, the third worst win percentage in this league. Once again, they just started their era. They just started their great era last year with Tom Brady. Now they're going to try and bring it into the 17-game season era here. The Cardinals, the fourth worst win percentage. They're trending up. They got their offense. They got their defense. They're signing everybody. They're ready to make the run right now. So the Cardinals moving into the 17-game era, ready to rock. The Jaguars having the fifth worst win percentage. They're drafting their face of the franchise. Let's see what he can do. 17-game season, new era, new everything, new records that are going to get set, that are going to get broken, new kind of metrics of what makes great quarterbacks and wide receivers good, what's good now. 1,000-yard seasons aren't going to cut it anymore. New time to shine. Let's start getting it done. Let's start making our kind of franchise's history starting now, so we can talk about, the Lions, the Browns, the Bucs, the Cardinals, the Jags, like we've been talking about the Seahawks and the Patriots and the Steelers for the last 40 freaking years. So, hey, you can turn it around. You can start over, start fresh with this new era. Let's see what these kind of worst teams can do. Can they turn it around, or will they just be trash for 2 straight eras and maybe try to turn it around when it inevitably gets pushed to 18-game seasons? So, Lions, a lot of work to do, but it is doable. We've seen the Browns, Bucs, Cardinals, and Jags all potentially doing it as well. All right, I don't get this one, man. I truly hate this one. Here we go. Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot. I think it's Fontenot. It's Fontnot. Fontenot. I don't know. But he's the new general manager here for the Falcons, and he says that Atlanta is in prime position to, quote, stack good quarterbacks. What? What are you talking about? Your line's been trash. Your defense has been really below average. Matt Ryan's been serviceable out here. He's got the weapons to be serviceable, but you want to go and get another quarterback and not kind of fill up the holes? What are you talking about? Did you not just watch the Green Bay Packers this season? They drafted a quarterback first first round last season, and they got to the NFC Championship game, and they lost. They never plugged up any holes. They never addressed any issues. They were playing for the future, and they got beat by the Bucs, who had a more stacked team. So instead of getting a playmaker that would have kind of set you over the edge in the NFC Championship game, you went and drafted Aaron Rodgers' potential replacement. Why? Why would you do that? First of all, and we saw it not play out, and now the Falcons want to do the same thing. We just saw it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then in the article, he kind of goes about saying that, if we can get a quarterback here and, have him learn under Matt Ryan and then make the switch when it's time, focus about winning a Super Bowl right now. You've got the quarterback to do it right now. Shore up your defense. Shore up your offensive line at the number 4 overall pick. Don't get Matt Ryan's replacement. Don't trade back in the draft to draft Matt Ryan's replacement. It doesn't work. We literally just saw it not work. So are you happy with NFC Championship game losses? Are you happy with that? Because if you are, then yes, go and get Matt Ryan's kind of backup and replacement right now, because that's what you will be. You will lose to the Bucs, who have a supremely talented roster. They just signed Giovanni Bernard, folks. They have pushed him over the edge to win it again this year. So I don't know what people are thinking out here. Don't go and shore up what you need. Worry about that when it comes time for that. You can get serviceable quarterbacks that are kind of back up on some person's roster when Matt Ryan's ready to go. Go and get kind of the backup quarterback, then draft a quarterback and start the process. But have that infrastructure ready for Matt Ryan's replacement. This is stupid. So help me God, if the Falcons draft a quarterback at number 4, I will blow my mind. And if they trade back and then, to like late in the first round and then draft a quarterback, I'll freaking blow my mind again, because that makes no sense. Go and get the running back to help out this team. I mean, could you imagine Najee Harris or Travis Etienne on this team with freaking Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley? I mean, come on. That's triple threat out there offensively. Come on. It doesn't work. Y'all doing the same thing. That's insanity. Doing the same thing, expecting different results. Come on. Come on. Stupid. I'll call general manager stupid. That's not above me. Come on. Or that's not below me, however the saying goes. Whatever makes the most sense. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. A lot of stories to go through. We may not be able to get to anything else today. Jeez. Here we go. Bruce Arians, quote, wouldn't be against Buccaneers drafting a quarterback. Hey, Falcons, this is what you do. This is what you can do. You can win the Super Bowl, and then with Tom Brady, basically only having like 1 or 2 more seasons left, maybe more. We don't know. This man's breaking all Father Time's rules. He's not from this planet because he is not following any laws of physics out here. But this is how you do it. You know that, you've got pieces all around you. You've got the wide receivers. Your defense is great. You just re-signed everybody. You just won the Super Bowl. Now you can start looking for the replacement of Tom Brady, because you're already on top and you're literally signing all the talent. You've brought in everybody back. You don't do what the Falcons are doing. Is you didn't even get to the playoffs. You're not winning consistently. You got a new head coach. You've got a new general manager. Now you're looking for Matt Ryan's potential replacement because you want to stack good quarterbacks and not round out your entire team so you can compete for ranks. Come on. Bruce Arians, he may be the best head coach of all time. He may be the smartest head coach of all time. Just truly kind of maybe like Andy Reid never found that great quarterback like Bill Belichick has. So Bruce Arians, I'm starting to love this man every single day because he's just doing everything right on how to win and maintain winning, and then winning in the future after what you've won with is already gone and you have to rebuild slightly. This is how you freaking do it. So Bruce Arians, quote, wouldn't be against drafting a quarterback for the Bucs. Absolutely. Go and do it. You've won the ring. You've re-signed everybody. You have Tom Brady for another year. Go and draft a quarterback that can learn from Tom Brady, who knows how to win in this league. Not do what freaking the Falcons are doing. Ugh. Alrighty. Here we go. Basketball stories. So Monday's Nets-Wolves game was postponed because of the police killing of Dante Wright. But that game is getting played this afternoon, and I believe it starts at 4 o'clock. So we get a nice little afternoon game under not great circumstances, but we get basketball at 4 o'clock today. Pretty good, I would say. All right, so that's when, and it's pretty good that they kind of made up the game the very next day, not even 24 hours later. That's pretty good. So I respect the Nets, the NBA, the Timberwolves of kind of working together and getting it scheduled so it's not too much done. And now, is Kyrie Irving going to play in this game? Because he didn't play last night because it was Ramadan, but you didn't play anyway. So is he going to play tonight, or is he using that as an excuse? We don't know, because it's Kyrie Irving, of course. Alrighty, and man, oh man, I think we've got to start adding Steph Curry to our MVP list, folks, of kind of just counting points every day for this man and a potential MVP runner here, because here we go. Not because of this stat alone, because of his win last night, and we'll talk about that when we get to the game. Beating the Nuggets, absolutely magnificent. No Kelly Oubre Jr., and they still win it, absolutely magnificent. But here we go. Games with 10 plus 3 made games with 10 or more 3-point shots made. Steph Curry is number one with 18 games. He's at 18 games of hitting 10 or more threes. Absolutely magnificent. Then number 2 on that list is Klay Thompson with 5 games. And then the third on that list is James Harden and Damian Lillard, both with 3 games. We know this is the greatest shooter of all time. 18 games with 10 or more three-pointers made. It's absolutely absurd. And this man can do it single-handedly. He doesn't have to have, a true stacked squad around him. I mean, this Warriors team is kind of pathetic, honestly. It does pain me to say it a little bit, but I mean, the second best player besides Steph Curry is Draymond Green. Then the third best player is Andrew Wiggins. I mean, that's not a championship winning roster, unfortunately. And Kelly Oubre Jr. not in last night, and that's what he does. Drops 50 plus points, 10 or more 3 points made, and that's what he does out here, folks. He's just a true scorer, a true winner. He is Julian Edelman, folks. Come on. So I think we're going to start talking about this man in the MVP discussion. We are going to have to add some stipulations to that, but once we get to that kind of game and we start talking about him, we'll talk it all through. Alrighty, let's keep going here, and man, oh man, really, really not good here. Not good for a couple reasons. We just put the Nuggets in our top 10 power rankings on Friday, and they've started to lose a couple of games, so really not great there. But then at the end of last night's game, when they were already kind of losing, they were down 7 with a minute left. Jamal Murray goes and drives to the bucket, and he tears his ACL. I mean, this is not good. Look at how this man kind of lands on the floor. He is in excruciating pain. Look at that, folks. He's a worm on the floor. He is wiggling all around, man. This is not good at all. This is absolutely frightening. This is jaw-dropping, heart-sinking. Jamal Murray going down for the Nuggets here. A huge reason, and they really don't have the backup. They don't have the bench. They got Facundo Campazzo. He's solid. He's a solid bench piece, but he's not going to be able to do what Jamal Murray is able to do out here on a nightly basis. So the Nuggets really, truly don't have a replacement for Jamal Murray, so hopefully everything's good to go for this man, but oh man, look at that. Wincing in pain, agonizing pain. Look at that man's reaction. That's something bad. Something big, bad right there, folks. Look at that grit of the teeth right there. Oh, God. So, and not only did he get injured, but they brought out the extendo wheelchair for this man. Look at this thing. The hell is this? The hell is that? So, it's real when they bring out the freaking highly extended wheelchair that they brought out for that man last night. So, truly prayers up for this man. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but I mean, how can this not be serious? How could that not be serious? So, truly unfortunate here. The Nuggets lose. Jamal Murray goes down. They'll probably be done now, and we'll have to probably choose a new number 1 come this Friday when we re-update our power rankings. But man, oh man, truly, truly, truly heartbreaking. Unfortunate. Man, damn it. Alrighty, here we go. All right, those are all the stories that we needed to cover for today. So let's head over to the NBA, break down what happened last night, reevaluate everybody's points for the MVP status and for the 6th Man of the Year category. And then we'll do our moneymaker for tonight's action. I do not think we are going to be able to get to Khalil Herbert today, so we'll probably have to push him out. We just went an hour on the stories, folks. Julian Edelman got me riled up. I don't know what you want from me. So we'll probably have to move our NFL draft prospect of the day to tomorrow, and we'll be behind even more. So classic. But so here we go. Let's just get it done here. So here we go, the NBA from last night. Let's start here with the Lakers and the Knicks. And man, oh man, a truly disappointing loss here by the Lakers. Kyle Kuzma's back and they lose. Come on. Kyle Kuzma's not that great. He hurts this team a little bit more than I think he helps them, honestly. And I really think Kyle Kuzma should still be coming off the bench with everybody out. But he comes back in the starting lineup, a minus 26 on the floor, and only well, they still did lose by 15, but nobody else was that trash on the floor for the starters. But let's start here with the Knicks. A good win for them. Let's flip it around. This is a good win for the Knicks right here. Good defensive team of the Lakers, and they're able to get great production from their starters. That's what we're talking about. The bench didn't do anything great, but the starters all got it done. So absolutely fantastic. So here we go. Elfrid Payton, 20 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. He shot 75% from the field. Yes, sir. Get it done. Then we get RJ Barrett. He only put up 7 points, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. He didn't have a great night. Only shot 18%, but the other production from the starters are able to get it done. Nerlens Noel, 6 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks, an all-around great game for him. Julius Randle, 34 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. He shot 2 of 6 from 3 and 56% overall from the field. And then we get 12 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds by Reggie Bullock. So overall, not bad here by the starters. Elfrid Payton steps up in place of RJ Barrett. Reggie Bullock gives us the 10-plus points. Julius Randle went beast mode with the 34 points, so nice job there by the starters. Everybody was great defensively. And then here for the bench, Derrick Rose comes in and puts up 14 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds in only 19 minutes. And he shot 55%, so overall a good game by him. Nothing too great elsewise. Emmanuel Quickley only put up 5 points in 15 minutes. Obi Toppin only put up 3 points in 9 minutes on 2 shots. But let's shout out Taj Gibson really quickly. 8 points and 10 rebounds in only 17 minutes. Well done out there. So still some decent performance here off the bench. Alec Burks only had 2 points on 5 shots in 16 minutes. So the bench didn't do anything truly great. They got a solid contribution from Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson. Yes, sir, that OG Bull squad. And, the starters are Julius Randle, Elfrid Payton, get it done, and they get the win. All right, let's go to the Lakers now. Let's see why they didn't even put up 100 points. Let's see who didn't do well for this team. Dennis Schroeder, 21 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. He shot 1 of 3 from 3 and 53% overall. He has been really getting it done ever since really the All-Star break. He's really been coming into his own, getting it done a little bit better out here. So shout out to Dennis Schroeder. Good game out here. KCP, 12 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. He shot 50%. Andre Drummond at the 5, 3 points, 10 rebounds, a little light. Especially going against Nerlens Noel. You couldn't body that man all night. Down low? Come on. So a little disappointing game from Andre Drummond. Markieff Morris, 17 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds on 63% shooting. And then we get to Kyle Kuzma. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 0 assists, 2 of 9 from 3, and a minus 26 on the floor. A minus 26 on the floor, folks. Nobody else was even close to a minus 26 on the floor. The second worst plus minus for this Lakers team was Montrezl Harrell. Unfortunately, truly unfortunately, he had not a great game out here. I don't know why the bigs were not having good success here against this Knicks team. Truly mind-boggling. But Montrezl Harrell was a minus 12, and then Alex Caruso was a minus 11. So I don't know what Kyle Kuzma was doing out there. And let's talk about this bench very quickly. Taylor Horton-Tucker with the 10 points and 3 assists, and Ben McLemore with the 8 points off the bench in only 14 minutes. Montrezl Harrell, a really, truly disappointing game here. 0 points, 2 rebounds, and 0-4 shooting in 15 minutes. He's usually the leading scorer out there on the squad when LeBron James and Anthony Davis isn't there. So a little bit of a weird game here for the Lakers, a game that they shouldn't have lost, but well done for the Knicks. Another good is this Knicks team streaking? What they got going on? I want to say they're on like a 2-game winning streak. 3. Ooh, even better. All righty. Yes, sir. Knicks still at number 8, looking to climb up a little bit, but very well done with a 3-game win streak there. We'll take it. So the Knicks get the win, 111-96 over the Lakers. All right, let's keep moving on here to the 76ers and the Mavs, and the 76ers get it done. Yes, sir. Let's see who played well for this team. Ben Simmons, 8 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds on 50% shooting. Steph Curry, 8 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. He shot 2 of 3 from 3, so, that's not bad. Still want to see him generate a little bit more points offensively. Joel Embiid, 36 points, 7 rebounds, only 2 assists. Tobias Harris only put up 10 points and 4 assists and 4 rebounds, so a little light on the points of what we're usually expecting. And then Danny Green, only 6 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, just on 2 of 5 from 3, just not taking a lot of shots. And then off the bench, yes, sir. Great production here. Shake Milton, 10 points, 5 assists. Love it. Furkan Korkmaz, 20 points off the bench in only 18 minutes. Dwight Howard, 4 points, 7 rebounds in 20 minutes. Not bad overall. He was a plus 12 on the floor as well, so getting it done defensively. This 76ers team can take care of business, and that's exactly what they did against the Mavericks. No Kristaps Porzingis for the squad, so Luka is single-handedly all alone out here, and he does Luka things. 32 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 of 7 from 3, not the greatest, but hey, he gave us 32 points, so not terrible overall. Jalen Brunson steps it up a little bit, 15 points, 6 rebounds. Maxi Kleber not doing Porzingis things out there. I mean, he doesn't even do good at the 4. I mean, he's not going to do good at the 5 out here, so Maxi Kleber, 3 points, 3 rebounds. Dorian Finney-Smith in the lineup, 12 points, 11 rebounds, pretty good games by him. And then Josh Richardson to round out the starters at the starting 3, 7 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound. So points really do not come from anybody else besides Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. That's why we're not too big on this Mavs team, because they are very, very lackluster. It's really just dominant on Luka and Porzingis. Nobody else really gives us any great production. And very disappointing here by Tim Hardaway Jr. I mean, points needed to come from somewhere, and he floundered big in this game. Only 9 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 of 6 overall from the 3, and only 33% overall from the field. So nothing truly great here. Boban only playing 7 minutes is disrespectful. I only want Boban starting. Whenever Porzingis is out of the starting lineup, that's when Boban should be elevated to the starting lineup. I don't know what is going on there. Putting Maxi Kleber in the starting defensive or in the starting lineup at the 5. Yeah, he's good defensively, but we're getting no offensive production. Then you lose by, 18 points. I mean, come on. So, very well done to the 76ers. End up getting the win, 113-95 over the Mavericks. Mavericks, man. Start playing Boban more, man. Please, please. The man can play, truly. And there's nothing great on this Mavericks team besides Luka and Kristaps Porzingis. What else is good on this team? Come on. Jalen Brunson has some good games here and there. Josh Richardson has some good games here and there, but nothing's consistent. So the fact that Boban's not getting more play, I truly don't get it. You play, JJ Redick, 13 minutes, and he shoots 1 of 3 from 3 and 1 of 7 from the field, shooting 14%. That's what you want to put your time in? 14% shooting? Instead of a big old Boban out there getting 4 rebounds in only 7 minutes? Man, oh man. Let me be a head coach, man. I would go on to... I would go undefeated in the NBA season. Come on. Alrighty, let's see. Keep moving on here. Spurs get a nice win out here over the Magic, and the Magic's magic has truly officially all run out. They are on a 6-game losing streak. We saw them kind of at the trade deadline, after the trade deadline, just kind of, winning games pretty decently, consistently being competitive in games, everybody stepping up, next man up mentality, but that's all gone out the window. That's usually how it goes. I mean, you don't expect that from long kind of sprints, for long kind of spreads in this league. You hit it, 2, 3, 4 games, and then it's gone. That's classic Magic in the NBA. And the Magic's magic has run out. So let's start here with the Spurs. DeMar DeRozan coming off a buzzer beater in their last game. 19 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds on 63% shooting. DeJounte Murray, 17 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Great night by him. Derek White adding 15 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. Very well done. Jacob Poeltl at the 5, 6 points, 6 rebounds. Keldon Johnson at the 4, 4 points, but 11 rebounds and 5 assists. We'll take that. So overall, a good night here by the starters, and probably their best bench night of the season right here. Drew Eubanks, 10 points, 10 rebounds off the bench. Lonnie Walker, 12 points off the bench. Rudy Gay, 12.6 rebounds off the bench. And that's fantastic. 3 players all in double-digit points with other kind of stats along with them. That's what we're talking about, and that's what we don't get a lot of times with the Spurs. They put up 120 points. No coincidence there. So well done by the Spurs team. A nice win here over the Magic. Anybody step up here for the Magic? Dwayne Bacon, 14 points on 42% shooting. Wendell Carter at the 5, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Good night by him. But that's really it. Off the bench, RJ Hampton, 16 points, 8 rebounds, and Cole Anthony, 12 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds off the bench. But this nothing truly great by this Magic team, which we know of. All right, so Spurs get the win. Let's move on to the Bulls and the Grizzlies, and whoever won this game was going to look a little bit better in our eyes. This Bulls team on a little bit of a losing streak. This Grizzlies team on a 2-game losing streak, almost back to 500 if they would have lost to last night. But the Grizzlies get back on track here, and another kind of fourth quarter poor performance here by the Bulls, unfortunately not closing out games. All right, so let's start here with the Grizzlies, and then we'll talk about the Bulls. So here we go. Classic lineup here by the Grizzlies. John Morant, 13 points, 10 assists, 3 rebounds. He shot 35%, not great, but overall with the 10 assists, we'll take that. Grayson Allen, 14 points, 6 rebounds. Yes, sir, 4 of 9 from 3. That's what we're talking about, Grayson. He does have some of these good games out here, so very well done to him. Jonas Valanciunas, 26 points, 14 rebounds. Kyle Anderson, only 5 points, but he had 4 steals, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, just getting it done in every facet of the game. Didn't shoot well either, 1 of 6 from 3 and 25% overall. And then Dylan Brooks, 17 points, 7 rebounds. Once again, not a great shooting night, but I'll take the 17 points and 7 rebounds and the good defense of what we know of Dylan Brooks. So very well done here by the starters, all kind of getting it done. And then look at this bench, not bad either. Brandon Clark, 9 points, 9 rebounds. I'll take that. Desmond Bane, 9 points, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 rebounds in only 16 minutes. I'll take that. Efficient as heck of shooting, 75%. So not bad there by the bench. We know it's not a great bench, but it's solid, and it's just enough to kind of put them over for the win here. Now let's talk about the Bulls. Why are they not winning? What is going on here? Alrighty, so still their classic lineups. Thaddeus Young still at the 3. So Thomas Sartansky, only 2 points, 2 assists, couldn't really do anything big out here at the starting point guard position. Zach LaVine went 21 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 of 8 from 3, not the greatest. Vucevic, 17 points, 10 rebounds, already 3 of 7 from 3. Thaddeus Young, 20 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. He was a +2 on the floor, getting it done defensively as well, only playing 19 minutes. So I think that's the biggest thing, man. He's not playing starting minutes, but he is out there in the starting role. I would put him back down to the bench, man. I don't think you're getting any better production with him in the starting lineup, not playing him that many minutes. Just have him come off the bench and see what happens there. But somebody would have to come up in the starting lineup. Is Daniel Tice ready to kind of be the starting 4 here for the squad? Potentially, but we got to start seeing something else, man. I don't know. I don't like Thaddeus Young in the starting lineup, I don't think. It worked for a couple of games, but they're not winning consistently with him in the starting lineup. So that would be the one change I would make in the starting rotation. Once again, I could be the coach out here for any NBA organization. All right, and then Patrick Williams at the 3 to round out the starters. 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 of 3 from the field. Just not taking a lot of shots out there. All right, off the bench, Daniel Tice, here he is. 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, not bad in 27 minutes off the bench. He was a -13 on the floor, so not great defensively like we know of Daniel Tice. Kobe White, that is the main reason why this team is not winning. They need Kobe White to be a absolute maniac off the bench. They need this man to step up. Kobe White, only 6 points on 25% shooting, need to be better. He honestly needs to be like a 15-plus point scorer off the bench on a nightly basis. And we're not even anywhere close to that. What is this man even averaging for his season totals? What do we even got for this man? 14 points. Is he putting up 14 points a game? I'm not seeing that. It's not meaningful. These 14 points are not meaningful points. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. But man, oh man, just not coming out to wins or just not consistently off the bench, man. And I think he got those because he was a starter for most of the time out here. What can we do? Can we look at anything very quickly? I'll go quickly on this. Kobe White career stats. I just want to see how many games he's been starting, actually. All right, Kobe White career stats. All right. Quickly, we're going over this. Quickly. Alrighty. All right, yeah. 36 games as a starter, 16 points a game. 4 rebounds, 5 assists. That's where it all comes from, coming off the bench. I mean, he's only putting up 10 points, 2 rebounds on 3 assists a game. I mean, that's not getting it done. So, once again, we are kind of vindicated on that. Love it. All right, let's keep moving on here to the next game up. The Pelicans and the Kings. The Pelicans get right, and they win another game without Lonzo Ball. Folks, I'm just saying it out here. I'm just throwing it out there. They won another game without Lonzo Ball. I don't know what you want from me. All right, so Eric Bledsoe, still in the starting point guard rotation, still not doing really anything truly great out here. 13 points, 5 assists, but look at this, 1 of 6 from 3, 27% overall from the field. Just once again, not efficient, classic Eric Bledsoe. Wes Iwundu gets in the starting lineup at this shooting guard position. 11 points, 7 rebounds on 75% shooting. Love that. Absolutely. Wes Iwundu really stepping it up here. Love that. Steven Adams, 6 points, 16 rebounds. Jeez Louise. Zion Williamson, 30 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 62% shooting. Great game. Consistent out here. Brandon Ingram getting it back to where he was in the start of the season. At the start of the season, Brandon Ingram was almost unstoppable. Kind of started to get a little lackluster in the kind of solid middle of the season. But here he is, another great game. 34 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds on 3 of 8 from 3, and 61% overall. So Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, we all know the offense really should flow through these two players. And I think with Lonzo Ball out on the court, he kind of holds them back a little bit. Lonzo Ball should not be really the primary scorer on a team. I don't think it really translates to wins. Yes, we all know that, he's kind of one of the better three-point shooters in this league, according to stats-wise. I didn't really see it when we break it down every day, but Lonzo Ball out here, I think he hurts the team a little bit more than he helps it, folks, and the numbers prove it. I mean, Brandon Ingram, 34 points, Zion Williamson, 30 points. Winning games, being Julian Edelman out here. This is today's episode of the show is called Julian Edelman, the Julian Edelman Show. Alrighty, off the bench, Jackson Hayes, 8 points, 7 rebounds. All right, not bad on 57% shooting, only playing 20 minutes. Love to see that. Great defensively as well, a plus 10 on the floor. James Johnson, no points, but he was a plus 15 on the floor in 15 minutes. Love to see that. And then Kiara Lewis Jr., 11 points, 3 assists off the bench as well. So not overall bad from the bench. Stars really got it done, so very well done to this Pelicans team. Now let's go to the Kings. Another loss here for them. Truly unfortunate, but not surprising. De'Aaron Fox, 43 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. He tried it all, folks. Just unfortunately, the overall team is a little lackluster defensively. Alrighty, Tyrese Halliburton, 12.6 assists. Raquan Holmes, no points, 4 rebounds in only 16 minutes. Maurice Harkless, 15 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Harrison Barnes, 16 points, 11 rebounds. Pretty decent night by the starters of all kind of getting it done. Unfortunate that we see no Buddy Hield, unfortunately, not playing in this game. Off the bench, only had really one good contributor out here. 12 points, 4 steals off the bench, and only 22 minutes off the bench. So just didn't have what the Pelicans had overall. Kings lose. That's it. Kings lose. No surprise there. Alrighty, Wizards beat the Jazz last night. Look at this. Davis Bertans back in the off the bench. Bradley Beal back in the starting lineup. So let's start here with the Wizards. And once again, the Jazz losing. Man, not great. Why is that? Should not be losing games that they should be losing. I'm a little hesitant. I'm a little worried about this Jazz team once they get into the playoffs. Kind of like last season, an early exit. Looking really good. Now they're the 1 seed here in the West still. Are they still the 1 seed? I think they are. I don't think they got passed up yet. Yeah, still the 1 seed. Game and a half now, closing in with the Suns. Alrighty here, so let's start here with the Wizards. Russell Westbrook, 25 points, 14 rebounds, 14 assists, only 3 turnovers. That's a win all day. Yes, sir. Bradley Beal, 34 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds on 2 of 5 from 3. Alex Len, 3 points, 5 rebounds. Rui Hachimura, 4 points, 6 rebounds. And then Denny Avdija, 0 points on 0 shots in only 9 minutes. So Bradley Beal, Russell Westbrook, obviously get it done. Nothing else great from the starters. Classic game. But let's go to this bench now. Davis Bertans back, baby. 10 points, 4 rebounds on 3 of 7 from 3, 42% overall from the field. Yes, sir, we'll take that. Daniel Gafford putting up 15 points, 4 rebounds. Ish Smith back finally, 9 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Robin Lopez, 10 points off the bench, 2 rebounds as well. So not bad here by this bench team putting up, they had basically, I'm putting Ish Smith in here with the 9 points, but 4 players all in double-digit points and very, very light minutes, like 17 or less minutes. Very, very good out here. So well done by this Wizards team. The bench is able to kind of get it done. done. The stars, Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal get it done for the starters, and they're able to beat the Jazz. Really crazy. Alrighty, Donovan Mitchell, 42 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. He tried it, 4 of 11 from 3. Unfortunately did not do enough or didn't have enough bench. How crazy. Joe Ingles, 18 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Rudy Gobert, 12 points, 12 rebounds. Royce O'Neal, only 2 points, but 12 rebounds. And then Bojan Bogdanovic, 33 points, 5 rebounds. So they got it done with their stars, their starters, but their bench, nothing good out here. Jordan Clarkson didn't play. Mike Conley didn't play, so they're a little less deep. And because of that, they don't win the game. Their leading scorer off the bench with Derek Favors with only 6 points. So unfortunate there. The Wizards had a little bit of a better bench, and that's the reason for the 4-point win. So Wizards get it done 125-121 over the Jazz. Alrighty, Warriors Nuggets. Truly unfortunate here by the Nuggets of losing this game, but let's quickly go over why the Warriors won. No Kelly Oubre Jr., no James Wiseman, and Steph Curry goes for 53 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 10 of 18 from 3. Really kind of the only reason why they won the game. Kent Bazemore steps in place of Bradley Beal, or of Kelly Oubre Jr. and puts up 14 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds on 3 of 6 shooting, 41% overall from the field. I mean, that's kind of a solid Kelly Oubre Jr. game, so he steps up big. Kevon Looney, 0 points but 11 rebounds. Draymond Green, 18 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. Andrew Wiggins, 17 points, 2 steals, 1 assist, 1 rebound. So overall, the starters got it done. Nothing great off the bench. Damian Lee, who's always kind of decently solid here off the bench, 8 points. That's it. So I'm putting Steph Curry in our MVP race, folks. We've got to really kind of start talking about him bigly now. The only reason why we can't really kind of truly put him as kind of like the number one, big pick here is because of, their record. The record's a very, very lackluster. They're only the 10th seed here. So we are going to be looking at Steph Curry here in our MVP race. But even if he has the most points at the end of it, we really have to double check his record because he has to at least finish the regular season at the 7th seed. He has to finish at the 7th seed if we kind of want to give them a chance of having Steph Curry be the MVP here, because winning matters, folks. MVP is who is the best player in this league that is contributing most to the wins on their own team. So James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, it's tough to give them MVP because they've got a loaded roster. Jokic, it's tough maybe a little bit because they do have kind of a little bit of a loaded roster. Steph Curry, though, he's literally got no real great help out here consistently. So that's why Steph Curry can really be the MVP, but a losing record, the 10th seed, I can't. I mean, you're not winning enough games at that point. Now you're not doing the winning aspect of what really an MVP should be doing out here. So we're going to give Steph Curry, he gets 2 points for the win, and honestly, his performance out here, 53 points, 55% from the 3, a plus 16 on the floor, had 4 assists and 6 rebounds to go along with that. I'm giving him a 5-point performance, our first 5-point performance out here all season long. So Curry, he's going to get started here with 5 points and just going to rival Joel Embiid and Jokic off the rip with both of those tied at first with 6 points. So Curry, he is going to kind of have to win a lot more games out here to kind of get taken a little bit more seriously. But man, oh man, that is an MVP type of kind of statement game right here, and we got to start respecting him for it. All right, now the Nuggets. Here we go. Quickly go over them. We saw Jamal Murray go down at the end of the game. Truly, truly, truly unfortunate. But what he did before, 17 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Will Barton, 9 points, 2 assists. Jokic, 27 points, 8 assists, 12 rebounds. Aaron Gordon, he's struggling kind of, offensively here. His offensive production has truly kind of gone down a little bit here. So we'll see if that's kind of the main problem here. We'll see if any of these players, Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon, go down to the bench. I don't think they ever will, but it's an interesting thing to kind of think of. And then Michael Porter Jr., 24 points, 9 rebounds, 1 of 7 from 3, unfortunately. Off the bench, Monte Morris puts up 10 points. Very well done. Nothing truly else great. Facundo Campazzo puts up 6 points and 2 assists in 21 minutes. Expect to see a lot more Facundo Campazzo. He's going to have to kind of take control of this team. Now, this could end up being a little bit of a silver lining for Aaron Gordon with Jamal Murray going down. That now Aaron Gordon's going to have to kind of pick up the slack of some points that Jamal Murray brings in. So Aaron Gordon may be seeing a lot more kind of points here. Maybe move Michael Porter Jr. to the 2, Aaron Gordon to the 3, and then have Facundo Campazzo move up to that starting rotation. So we'll see what happens here. Truly see what happens here. Alrighty, so Nuggets lose 116-107 over the Warriors. Not a good loss. All right, let's quickly finish off this last game. Suns and the Rockets. Very competitive game, so I want to start here with the Rockets. Kevin Porter Jr. at the 1, 22 points, 14 assists. Absolutely magnificent game. John Wall at the 2, 13 points, 8 assists. Decent night by him. Christian Wood, 25 points, 15 rebounds. Love it. Kelly Olynyk still in the starting lineup, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 1 of 5 from 3. And Jashawn Tate, 10 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Off the bench, they got Armani Brooks with the 14 points. Let's also shout out DJ Wilson with 8 points and 6 rebounds, and Kenyon Martin with 9.7 assists. Or 7 rebounds. All right, now the Suns, they ended up winning the game. Very well done. Chris Paul, 9 points, 10 assists. Devin Booker, 24 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. DeAndre Ayton, 18 points, 8 rebounds. Jay Crowder, 26 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. McCall Bridges, 6 points on 7 shots. But then look at this bench, folks. Cameron Payne, 11 points, 4 assists. Dario Saric, 9 points, 5 rebounds. Torrey Craig, 3 points, 5 rebounds. And Cameron Johnson, 11 points, 4 assists off the bench. So good night off the bench for the Suns team. They end up getting the win. Let's quickly go over and reevaluate here for MVP and 6th man of the year. So here we go. Giannis, the Bucks did not play last night. We don't have to worry about him. Harden, the Nets did not play last night, so we don't have to worry about him. Joel Embiid did play last night, so let's go to his game quickly. All right, they get the win, so 2 points right there. Joel Embiid, 36 points, led the team in scoring, led the team in rebounds, led the team in three-point percentage, a +8 overall, so we'll give him 3 points there. He goes up to 9 points overall in our MVP race. All right, Damian Lillard and the Blazers did not play last night, so we don't have to worry about him. We already did Steph Curry, and Jokic did play last night. They lose, -2 right off the rip from him. And how did he play last night? 27 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. He was at -14 on the floor. So I think we're just going to leave him at the -2 here. Decent overall game, but the poor defense and getting eaten up by Kevon Looney, and I don't know why he didn't have better success out there. Getting locked up by Kevon Looney all game. I don't get it. So we'll keep him at the -2, so he goes down to 4 points overall. All right, now the 6th man of the year. Here we go. Montrezl Harrell. The Lakers did play and they lost, so -2 for Montrezl Harrell, and he had a real bad game out here. Only 0 points and a -12 and only 2 rebounds. So we're going to give him -2 more points, so -4 overall. He drops down to 4 points. Jordan Clarkson did not play, and the team loses. So he gets -3 for the not playing, but we're going to knock it up to only -2 because the team kind of got blown out a little bit against the Wizards, losing close against the Wizards. So we will move him down to -6 points overall. Tim Hardaway Jr., he did play last night. They lose, so -2 points, and he did not play well. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, so not a great night by him. We'll leave him at -2, so he drops down to 3 points. And then Thaddeus Young, he lost. He played decent. Let's get to this Bulls team. Where they at? Got to open it up again. All right, Thaddeus Young here. 20 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. He was a +2 on the floor, so we give him -2 for a loss. But overall, the 20 points, +2, and a loss, only starting player in plus point category. So I'm going to kind of add it as a wash. 0 points. So he stays at 5. And now he is currently our front runner for 6th man of the year. Alrighty, let's move on to our NFL. No. We're not doing that today. Let's head over to our Moneymaker. We didn't do one live yesterday, and we went 1 of 1. So let's get that up on the show today. Alrighty, here we go. What's on tap today? We get Nets and the Timberwolves tipping off at 4 o'clock today, so about 2.5 hours out from right now. All right, then the primetime games on tonight. We get Clippers-Pacers. Should be a decent one. Let's see if the Pacers can finally start to beat like some good teams consistently. So they are at 7:30 on TNT. Then we get Hawks, Raptors, Lakers, Hornets, Jazz, Thunder, Suns, Heat, and Blazers, Celtics. 10 o'clock on TNT. A must win game for this Blazers team. Are you hearing me, Blazers? A must win game. Do you understand me? Let's see if we get any good value with them. Probably not. But if the Blazers win, I'm ready to say that I'm truly off of them. But let's refresh the lines here. Let's see what we get for tonight's action here. So here we go. First game up, Nets, Timberwolves. Nets -6, Timberwolves +6. Interesting here. Let's see if Kyrie is good to go. So James Harden is out. LaMarcus Aldridge is out. Kyrie Irving is out. Tyler Johnson is out for the Nets. And for the Timberwolves, just Karl-Anthony Towns is a game-time decision, and Malik Beasley's out. Well, I don't like this Nets team without James Harden. I don't like this team without a true facilitator on the floor with Kyrie Irving and James Harden. I don't think Kevin Durant is going to be able to get it done. So Timberwolves +6. I think they win outright, but we'll take the 6 as well just because that's what we do here. We always play the spreads. So Timberwolves +6 here. Love it. D'Angelo Russell, I'm kind of assuming that he finally gets into the starting rotation here. We've been seeing him kind of getting more and more minutes off the bench. Last game, he had the same amount of minutes as Ricky Rubio, and now having Ricky Rubio facilitate the floor off the bench, they're going to be just as good as they were in their last game, which they won. So, love to see what kind of D'Angelo Russell, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Anthony Edwards can do all together. Ricky Rubio coming off the bench. This is a pretty decent Timberwolves team now. This isn't the Timberwolves team that's been the team all season. Newly, Karl-Anthony Towns, everybody healthy with D'Angelo Russell, and they're looking real good with them. So, Timberwolves +6, absolutely love it. Alrighty, Clippers, Pacers. Clippers -3, Pacers +3. If Kawhi Leonard, everybody's good to go here for the Clippers. We'll swallow we will swallow the 3. Patrick Beverley's still out. We all know that. He's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. Serge Ibaka's out. Kawhi Leonard out. So we got to stay away from it. Big old game here for the Pacers. Still, Miles Turner is out for them. So we'll see if Sabonis is still playing the 5. But we know Paul George has been pretty good out here by himself. But we'll stay away from this one. Kawhi Leonard on the load management. All right, next game up, Hawks, Raptors. Hawks -2, Raptors +2. All righty. Interesting here. In for the Hawks, we get Danilo Gallinari, game-time decision. Tony Snell out. Chris Dunn out. John Collins out. Trae Young, game-time decision. And Cam Reddish is out. For the Raptors, Kyle Lowry out, Fred VanVleet is out, and Paul Watson is out. Now, that backup squad of the Raptors looked absolutely great, a couple of games ago, but then, all the starters came back. They lose against the Knicks, and now some of the starters are back out. This Hawks team on a 2-game winning streak, like what this Hawks team is doing, think they're still streaking. We get Clint Capella, we get Trae Young, we get Lou Williams off the bench. That's what we love about this team. Hawks -2, we'll take it. All right, Lakers, Hornets. Lakers -1, Hornets +1. Out for the Lakers, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Alfonso McKinley out. And then for the Hornets, Terry Rozier, game-time decision. P.J. Washington is out. So P.J. Washington hasn't really done anything great for this team. He hasn't really been stepping it up with all those 3 great players, Gordon Hayward, Lonzo Ball, Malik Monk, all out. So I will be rooting for this Hornets team, but we won't take them here. Lakers, tough loss last night, so we'll see if they kind of come out with revengeance tonight. All right, Thunder +17.5, Jazz -17.5. Holy moly. Let's see if everybody's good to go for this Thunder team. Mike Muscala is out. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is still out. Aleksej Pokusevski is still out. Damn him. Or is out. I think he played last game. And then for the Jazz, just Jordan Clarkson is a game-time decision. Mike Conley is a game-time decision. We'll stay away from this one. Way too many points to eat, and the Jazz just lost last night, so not the greatest. All right, then we get this Heat and the Suns. Heat +3, Suns -3. Alrighty, out for the Heat, Victor Oladipo, which we know about, and then KZ Okpala is still out. And then for the Suns, just Abdel Nader is out. So this is a big game for the Heat here, a statement game of what they can do. Tough opponent for the Suns. Suns in a back-to-back, so we'll stay away from it, but it's going to be a great one to watch. Really kind of wish this was the game on TV tonight. But we get a good game as well. So here we go. Celtics and the Blazers. Celtics +1, Blazers -1. A must-win game for the Blazers. They've dropped way too many here over the last 6 games. Very, very not great here. They need to start beating some of the better teams. And the Celtics team isn't anything great, but they are, a decent emerging team out here. So gotta win this game. Gotta. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If the Blazers lose, I've lost all hope on this Blazers team. So Evan Fournier is a game time decision, so expect him to probably play because he's been kind of listed as out in the past couple of games where he's been out because of the COVID-19. So game time decision for Evan Fournier, which would be great for the Celtics. And then for the Blazers, everybody's good to go except for Zach Collins, which we all know. So a real great game here. I'm going to give the Blazers one last chance to impress us. We love this Blazers team. We love Damian Lillard. They need to start beating some of these better teams out here. Blazers -1. We're taking the faith of this Blazers team. We're betting the Blazers -1. Let's see what they can do, because if not, then we're going to start buying the Celtics team a lot more, because Jason Tatum has really been getting it done these last couple of games. Probably for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, he's been single-handedly winning, even with Evan Fournier out. Evan Fournier hasn't played the last couple of games, and they're on a 3-game winning streak. So I will start respecting this Celtics team a lot more if they win tonight, and we will start fading the Blazers a lot more if they lose tonight. So this is what we got going on for our moneymaker. Timberwolves +6, Hawks -2, Blazers -1. Feeling good. Alrighty, that is going to do it for us today. We'll look at Khalil Herbert tomorrow on the show. So before we go, let's see if anything is breaking as we were live. Mark Cuban says the current playing tournament, quote, was an enormous mistake in hindsight, partly due to the season's compressed schedule. He's on the verge of not getting it, so that's why he's a little... I think it's going to be great. I think it's fine. Yeah, nothing else. Alrighty, so that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And, yeah, we'll see, we will see you tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow. We will do that. We will see you tomorrow. Alrighty, folks, we're out of here. See you tomorrow.